We're living our best life currently.
Best life.
So, cheers to Fat Crab.
Fat crab.
Cheers.
Cheers. Hi, my name's Honestly Trina, and today I'm here to interview Patrice the author. So, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So, I'm Patrice the author, as you know, because you're on the YouTube channel and I did the intro, so make sure you go and watch the intro if you haven't watched it already. Yeah. So yeah, mother, wife, educator, what else am I? Author.
The main reason we're here today. Author.
Yes, so that's me. Jack of all trades, eh?
Master of everything.
Master of everything.
So, you're writing a book.
Mm-hmm.
What inspired you to start writing? When did you first get the urge to write?
Okay, so I studied journalism at uni and yeah, really enjoyed that. And I always wanted to be a journalist initially. Mm-hmm. And so after I studied, I started to get some work experience. So I was editorial intern at Pride magazine for a short time. I used to work with, like so lovely Amina Taylor and it's lovely people there, Sherry, amazing people. So I did little short kind of snippets, little bits of writing there. I also wrote for a local magazine called Live Magazine, which is a great magazine. Okay. I did a little bit of work at More Magazine as well, where again, little bits of writing that I did. And Vital Women's Magazine, actually, a magazine of an aunt of mine. Where I did the fashion, so that was very out of my comfort zone. Okay. She asked if I could do fashion, and I did a bit of research, and yeah, I kind of found my way within the fashion. So yeah, it was good. Kind of moved on from there. I did a number of jobs before I landed into teaching.
Right.
Yeah. So my current book started, the one I've currently written, started about I think 10 years ago when I had my son. So yeah, I mean, the writing process started quite a few years back when I was at uni.
Right, so you were inspired, you did a bit of work here as an intern, you've worked at various magazines. What inspired you to start writing a fictional book? And what is the book about?
Okay, so my book is called Sky Up, and that name came from my father-in-law, who actually uses that term quite a lot, and he'd say everything Sky Up. And hold tight, but I can't Patrick me. So and that's just an inspirational term for sky's the limit, basically. Right. So that's where I kind of got the name. Now the book itself I had a few ideas many years ago when I had my son, about 10 years ago. And when my husband owned a barbershop, when I had my son Josiah, the main character of the book. Right. I wanted something for boys. I was looking for books for boys and really struggled to find really nice kind of motivational books for boys. I found lots of books for girls, but I didn't have a girl at that time. So I was looking for books for boys. So I kind of thought about a few ideas, and I thought, where do boys gather? I thought barbershop, men. So my husband owned a shop. One factor was, that element of, there was lots of books about girls and their hair. Yeah. So I was like, boys and their hair. Like one element of, looking after their appearance. I wanted it to be set in a barbershop because it's familiar with a lot of boys.
Absolutely.
Second thing was I wanted it to be an empowering book, an inspiring book that really kind of empowers young boys. Okay. And encourages them that they can reach, their goals and their dreams, and sky's the limit. Third thing was I wanted to capitalize on the father and son relationship, and I also wanted to one of the other elements was to encourage financial literacy. Right. There's not a great deal of it in this book, but there's a reason for it, but it kind of introduces that a little bit in the book. And I also wanted to reduce the stereotypes associated with boys, well, black boys in particular, and just give them something to aspire to know that sky is the limit. They can achieve whatever they want. So that's kind of how it all came about. So I've just decided to write something that I couldn't find out there, and I've written it myself.
It sounds like an amazing thing to do, actually. So you found a gap in the market, and you're filling the gap in the market. It sounds like you've got a lot going on. So you've mentioned that you're a wife, you're an author, you're a mother, and I know you've got a 9-to-5 job. So how are you managing to balance all these different things, and what advice would you give to other mothers, women, or just actually anyone? Because actually balancing is not just a woman thing. What advice would you give to somebody that's balancing things?
Okay, so the first question, you talked about work-life balance and how do I kind of balance my life. But I don't believe that I balance. I think it's a balancing act. It's a juggling. Juggling. I'm constantly juggling, as you know. So I think it's just, for me, different things have to take precedence. Different things have to be prioritized at different times. And as well, within that, I do have to make sure that I am prioritizing my family, and then obviously my work is a priority at certain times as well. So it's managing and it's prioritizing the different things. Now, the way I kind of do that for me personally, and the advice I'd give, is I structure my time. I'm not saying follow a structure right to the T, but it's important that you kind of structure your day, structure your plans, and make time for your family. So as much as, I'm working, I'm trying to, I'm working on my book, and I have to be that family person as well. It's a balancing act, it's a juggling act, but it is achievable because I've managed to do it, and it's achievable for anyone. They can do it, but it's a matter of, knowing your priorities and when your priorities actually are, and how to structure your priorities. Now, in terms of advice, I definitely say it's important that you communicate. It's the first thing. Communicate, talk. It's important that you communicate with your family, or that you communicate in general. I think making, scheduling things. I think writing your goals, so short-term and long-term goals. So really having your goals written, so you know exactly kind of where you're aiming to go, where you're going, and having maybe an ultimate 6-month goal, but then having the shorter goals in between. And even down to like your weekly goals or your weekly plans leading up to this bigger thing, which is what I've had to do. I think planning, fail to plan, you plan to fail. So planning is very important. I think making time for yourself is vital. For your own mental state of mind. Personally, I tend to I will go for a drive daily. I'm like, nope, go for my daily drive, or I'll go for a walk. It's so important that you make time for yourself, because you're very busy and focused on everything else and the families. It's so vital that you are finding time for yourself. Staying in touch as well with friends, finding time, making time. I don't say finding time, because you can't. It's impossible to, if you really go there, you'll say, oh, I can't find the time. No, you have to make the time to communicate with friends, and catch up with friends. So that's vital. So basically set goals and targets, plan, write lists. I'm a lover of lists. I have lists everywhere, big sticky notes. This is what I've got to do this week. And I also make sure I do like a later and now. So things that are important that must be done, and then things that can wait. So learn to say no as well. Sometimes you've just got to say no. Sometimes, when things are overwhelming, it's too much, just got to say, no, actually, I'm not going to do that. Or actually, no, I can't do that. So especially in these trying times, it's important that your mental health is important. I talk a lot about that on my Instagram. So check that out.
So not today. Just don't do it.
Today.
Not today. What do you think are the key elements to being an author, a writer? What are the key elements?
Some key elements. So I think it's vital that you have a structure. First of all, actually, even before the structure, think about your character. What's your main character? What is important and what's vital about your character? What's different about your character, maybe? So it's important to have a character, that is memorable character. Structure is important, so beginning, middle, end. It's so vital that we're able to follow your story or follow the book. And I think it's important to make your book engaging. I do a number of page turners in my book, so making sure you want to ensure that the reader wants to read, wants to turn the page, wants to find out what's going on next. So yeah, make it engaging.
Your quote or your hashtag is inspiring young minds. What are your top tips for young or aspiring authors? What would you say are the key things that they should work on?
Okay, I have two main things, and they're so obvious, but they're true. The first one is to read. Read everything. Read. So make sure you read the books in your market. Mm-hmm. Make sure you read the books that you're, in your genre, the genre that you're writing in.
Yeah.
So that you kind of find your style. So read, and then write. I was so hooked up on writing a couple of sentences and ensuring, those sentences need to make sense. Oh my gosh, I need to edit. Just write and just let it flow. And then you can come back and amend later on. So reading and writing.
Good. Read and write, guys. Make sure you're reading
and write.
And you're writing.
Much slur.
Absolutely. So you're an educator. What would you say to a parent that had a child that was reluctant to read? What advice would you give them? What would you say to inspire them and motivate them to
read
support
and
their
to
children?
write, or to just read?
Both.
Read. Okay, right. So reading is so important, and it's vital. So a reluctant reader, find something that they enjoy. Mm-hmm. Think about their interests. Read books to them. Read magazines. Read comics. So really encourage reading by reading with them, reading to them, mm-hmm. getting them to read to you. Find different ways of doing it. And just as long as they're reading, allow them to read what they want to read. So it's so important that you don't just force it. I've had many parents say, I want them to read chapter books. Why are they not reading? No, but just let them read anything. Some of them like comics, let them read. Magazines, let them read. Mm-hmm. Reluctant writers, sometimes there could be a reason why they're reluctant writers. There could be a need. Mm-hmm. There could be something where they need support. Mm-hmm. So that is something that you need to ensure that, if they're struggling with their writing, you need to ensure that you're speaking to the relevant people in their school to ensure that, support is put in place if that's the case. But mm-hmm. Encouraging them to write, I think it's important that you make writing meaningful at home. So you let them write shopping lists. Let them write letters to family members. Let them construct emails. If they're of that age, let them write the text messages for you, but not in text language.
I'm constantly having that debate with my son. He wants to put thanks with an X at the end, so I'm like, if you're writing for me, you need to do KS.
Yeah. So but make it fun, especially for younger children. You may want them to make letters out of Play-Doh, so make it fun for them. Older children, slightly older, get them, find their interest. If they like Fortnite, or if they like whatever they like, get a character out of it. Create your own Fortnite character, or create your own character. Mm-hmm. Get them to start off little. Start off with just key adjectives. Describe that character. Give me key words to describe it. Mm-hmm. You might want to build on it. Give me a sentence to describe that character. Mm-hmm. And then you may want to develop it further by saying, put that character in a book. How would you start your story about this character? Think about the setting. Describe the setting. Mm-hmm. So find their interests and tap into their interests. Mm-hmm. I think that's the best way. Yeah.
Sounds good to me. So find their interests, make it fun, tap into things that they like. And it's okay if they're not reading chapter books, guys. It's okay. Find something that they're interested in.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you're heavy on social media. Absolutely heavy on social media. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. You got LinkedIn?
No, actually. No.
Yeah.
And Twitter, I've got one, but I don't use it.
Yeah. Where can we find you? What are you doing on social media? Let us know. Give us a bit of a taster of what you're up to.
So if you're looking at Instagram, I am Book Feature Fridays on Fridays, story time, where I read to your children. I might do little activities within the story. They love that. They're engaging, and they'll, I'll ask questions, and they will get, they or their parents will type in. So it's really fun. At the moment, we're writing a poem together. Also, so that's that. On Saturdays, I haven't done it for a little while, but I'm having a break at the moment from it. But I do Let's Talks on Saturdays, where I talk to a number of inspirational, various people about various subjects. So that's fantastic. It's amazing. And Facebook, I've got a page on Facebook, Patrice the Author. My Instagram's at Patrice the Author. I think the link's somewhere in my last video, my welcome video as well, my link. My website's underway, so it's literally in the last stages now, and my book is nearly ready for you all. August is the date is when I'm looking for my book. So
have you got any launches planned?
Yes, August. I'm hoping to plan a lovely big launch. Hopefully we're allowed out. I think we're allowed out now. So yeah, August is when I'm planning on doing a launch. So look out for it. And if you want to sign up to exclusive information about my book, go onto my link, my bio, the link in my bio on Instagram. So you can get the pre-release information, all sorts of competitions. Sign up.
So I'm going to steal something that you tend to do. Every time you interview someone, you say, what book are you reading? So what book are you reading?
Ooh, okay, so I'm a person that I read a number of books at a time. I want to read the Obama book. I've got it sitting there. I'm waiting to read Becoming. I'm waiting. So when I say I'm waiting, I mean I'm a person that, I've got a couple of books on the go, so I'm waiting to finish those before I move on to another. But the main book I'm reading at the moment is a publishing book. It's by Karen Inglis, I believe, and she is it's all about self-publishing and how to be a great author, basically, and marketing, etc. So that's what I'm reading at the moment.
Right.
Yes.
Definitely check out that Obama book. It's absolutely amazing. I read it and then I also listened to it on audio as well, because she actually reads the book to you, which gives it a different feel as well.
Thank you. Will do.
So I think that's it from us today. I'm happy to have been able to interview you.
Yeah, YouTube takeover.
Yes. She'll probably come and interview me on my page at some point. But guys, please like, subscribe.
Please like, subscribe, share the page, comment.
Let us know how it went. Let us know how it has been for you, and let Patrice know what else you want to hear from her. Tell her what kind of books you want her to write for you and your children. Please do that. And I think that's it from us.
But Trina, honestly, Trina, she makes the best cupcakes, the best cakes in general. So where can we find out about you and your cupcakes, Katrina?
So my cupcake page is Miss Kitty's Cakes. That's MSKITTSCAKES. Miss Kitty's Cakes. You can find me on Instagram, you can find me on Facebook, and I also have a website, but I haven't published it because the supply and demand is just a lot at the moment. So I've got that on pause at the moment. And you can find me on Honestly Trina, where
she just talks as well.
Things, you know.
Life.
I don't write a book. I just talk about life. Just life. So you can catch me on Honestly Trina. And that's it.
Okay.
It's been an amazing day, and thank you for allowing me to interview you.
Thank you for joining, guys. Remember, if you don't already subscribe, like, share, comment, please, and check me out on all my social media platforms.